Mini fandom, all of it.
All right, Minifans, welcome back to a special edition of Minifandom. Bit of a last-minute one. I'm out and about recording from my car, but, there's no rest for the wicked because this producer race, it continues to captivate a nation, well, not just a nation, but a series of nations if you include Canada and Australia, and I'm sure all the English Minifans. And I've got on old friend of the show. Minifandom listeners will remember Joe came on Minifandom after his appearance on the main show. Joe, how are you?
Been better manners, but I'm okay. I'm getting through it.
Yeah, I reached out to you. I wanted to get you on to discuss what happened in studio today. You said to me, you just had a short window now after a yoga session. Did
Hot
you have
yoga
to just
session.
sort of go and zen out after such a stressful morning?
I've been doing hot yoga on and off for about a couple of years now. I'm back on it. So I was going to go regardless today, but it definitely helped relax myself after that shit show I put on this morning.
Yeah. So I guess do you want to give your perspective on being thrown out of the studio within about half an hour of the show?
No, it was about 50 minutes in. 50 minutes. So originally, Dave reached out to me Monday morning because I did not listen to the full episode on Sunday when he brought up the pizza guy from Central Mass. I was using that audio to kind of fall asleep. So I didn't hear that until later that Monday. So
do you often use KMS to fall asleep?
No, I do listen to a podcast to fall asleep, and I kind of know when I'm stopped listening, so that I'll restart it from that point again. When I don't remember what happened for the rest of the episode.
Because I actually find KMS too captivating to fall asleep.
It is hard. Sometimes I just have to turn it off and just try and sleep because I know I'm going to stay up and listen to it if I keep it on. So that does happen from time to time.
A lot of Blind Mike stuff is good if you need to fall asleep.
I listen to Why Are You Laughing a lot when I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a dick when I say that, but I something about it helps. It helps, and I do like the Why Are You Laughing show. But I originally thought it was just me, Steve, Kirk, Mike, and Dave in the studio. I had no idea that someone else was in the studio until I arrived, and there was someone else there, and it kind of threw me for a little bit. But once again, you got to be mentally tough. You can't let anything like that distract you. So Dave goes, hey, since Kirk knows who you are, has a little bit of a history, why don't you start the show as a producer? Then halfway through, we'll go out. We'll switch. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. No problem. And as you could tell, Kirk was more interested in talking to Steve to start the show and, kind of catch up with him because, of course, Steve's number 2 on the top 50 list, and I'm not even going to crack the top 20,000. So, and then when I did my pitch, it was shitty. It wasn't a good pitch. And it kind of just put me in my own mind where I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, now they don't even want to talk to me because my pitch, they said, was not good. They didn't think that I was a realistic candidate. So now I'm in my own head while they're talking about Larry Sinclair, the guy who fucked Obama and smoked crack. So once Kirk says, hey, we need to get an interview, right? The producer always says lock. Well, at least Dave would say that's a lock. So I had the mic in front of me, and like an idiot, I opened my mouth, my big ass mouth, and I said, that's a lock, really not knowing what I'm locking. And Kirk kind of picked up on that pretty easily. So I was just honest. I go, yeah, man, I zoned out. I'm sorry. And he said, get out. And, I'm not, if it's his show, he wants me out. That's the way it goes. I'm not going to complain and say that was anyone's fault. It was my own fault. Definitely have to stay focused on the task at hand and not really forget what you're doing and think about your own actions, but think about the show itself. So that's my side of the story. It's honest. Maybe some people won't like it, but that's just the way it is.
So firstly, it was a bit of a setup then because no other producer yet has had this sort of offer of, okay, you're going to switch halfway. So, there was an inkling that I mean, I guess there's an inkling that they were going to do something to make it interesting, the swap over. It would make sense if you fuck up,
I
rather
can't,
than
like I
keep
said,
you on the show for an
it was
hour and beat the hell out of you.
the
If they would
tweet.
do to another producer, they just kicked you out.
Yeah, the tweet. I mean, Menners, you saw the tweet. It says, Steve's going to be late and the pizza guy's producing. It'll suck. So, once I see that, that confirms in my head that I'm the producer for the show. So, and like I said, it threw me for a loop. I didn't know what was happening. Dave told me it was because he wasn't sure if Steve was going to make it or not. So they wanted to have me sit down with Mike, and they're going to have Josh produce the show. So,
Wow.
And then Steve ended up showing before Kirk, and then that's when we decided to do the half and half.
Yeah.
But once again, that's what is what it is, right? You get a chance to be the producer on the show, and I fucked it up. And that's it. No one else's fault but my own.
I guess so. But I mean, sort of thinking about it, if they'd have kept you around and beat the hell out of you for another hour or two, like they would do to the other producers trying out, that could have been fun. You could have reacted to it well, and maybe you win them over by the end of the show. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you just got lost in your own head there for a while and drifted off at the worst possible time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got in my own head. I was like, that was a terrible pitch. Like, you're really fucking yourself over. And boom, I open my mouth and Kirk just says, get out. And that's the way it is. Not happy about it, but I'm thankful for the opportunity that they gave me.
So
one of the Minifans, it's half and half with them. Some are calling me an idiot that, I did that. Some are like, hey man, I get it. So it is what it is.
What about when he told you to leave? Did you think about putting up a fight?
No.
Like,
At that point, I was just demoralized.
Wow. So you had an all-time this is like one of the. It sounds like you're shattered. I mean, you had this opportunity, and I don't want to rub it in, but I think you feel like you completely blew it.
Yeah, I did blow it. But Menners, you know what? I still have a good job. I still have good friends. I still have all my hobbies. I still have the show to listen to.
The sun will rise tomorrow morning.
The sun will rise tomorrow. And you know what? I got to give it a go. Because I do have a history with production. I went to college, went to Quinnipiac University, got a bachelor's of science in broadcast journalism, worked in television production in the news station for 3 years, was a part-time producer on a radio show. In the last 2 years, I've basically just not done any of that. So when Dave said, hey, you want to come in the studio? In my mind, it was more of, all right, this is the last go, right? Like, if I get this, I'm back in the production game. That's awesome. I get to do what I studied in college. Makes my mom happy because that's what she wants me to go with. But, I gave it a go. It wasn't a good go, but I gave it a go.
Would you consider going in again for another shot?
100%. I would go in there and get my ass kicked by Kirk 10 times, 100 times. I enjoy going in the show. I don't mind being a little bit of a punching bag from time to time, as long as it's all in good humor and good fun. I really don't care. That doesn't bother me. With my own friend group, that's kind of the way it is sometimes. And, it is what it is. But also at the same time, I had a few friends reach out to me that said, oh, he's just a dick. And I my response back is, yeah, I know that going in. Like, that's who he is on the show. Like, that's what Kirk does, and that's why he's good at what he does, because he's a dick, right? On the show, that's
not a great pitch.
But I'm just saying, like, that's just the truth. That's what I like about him. He sticks to his guns, and that's the way it is. So I don't see it as a problem. I just see it as I wasn't prepared. That's what I saw it as. Yeah,
right. I think they should give you another go. I mean, Mix had more than enough chances. They got Tommy Quinlan in twice. They should definitely give you another go. Give you a whole show to prove yourself. You need to work on your pitch for the show. I mean, I was discussing with Danny and Bill Ricker. He was on Twitter saying that no one is going to the Kirk Minahan network for drops or cuts or anything. I mean, what's going on?
So for the show, like, meaning like dropping cuts and dropping.
Yeah, like, Kirk, what do you think about this? Poppy said you should have driven down to Plymouth yourself and really checked it out, or other stuff.
So like for drops, I actually had the drops up ready to go. I was just too nervous because I feel like I was a little too late when they were talking about like Jerry or Blind Mike going to Vegas with his mother. So I just didn't have the drops quick enough ready to go. But that's one thing I wanted to do. I just guess really didn't get a full show to give it a go.
And could you run a whole social media strategy?
So if I was going to run the social media strategy, this is how I would run it. I would hire like 2 to 3 interns, probably two interns. We would start a TikTok. Throughout the show, I would tag what time I think something's funny, and I would pick about 5 of them. I'd pick 5 points in the show where I think it's the funniest thing to post on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and then send it to the interns, right? College kids who are looking to get into it. And I'd say, hey, listen, cut this up, write me a little something with it to make it, to tag along with it. And if I like it, we'll send it up there. And from there, we'll move on. And we won't use all 5. We'll use 3 because you don't want to overpost, but you want to post enough where people see the show. They say, oh, that looks kind of funny. I want to listen to that episode. So that's what I would do with that situation.
Can I just jump in there, Joe?
Yeah.
My thing is that from what I know about TikTok, I think Kirk would go off. Like all you would need is 3 cuts a day of Kirk being Kirk, and you put them on TikTok and they would just go viral because that's all people want on TikTok is quick, hot takes. If there was 15 seconds of Kirk telling someone to, go F themselves, you put that on TikTok with a couple of photos of whoever it is and off you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, that it's easier to do it now, right? Hindsight's 2020. But that would be my strategic plan for the social media avenue. But I stick by what I said when I said on the show that I like to take a little bit of Dave and a little bit of Steve. I do think that Steve said on the show that Kirk does need someone to bring a little bit of politics into it because that's, of course, important stuff going on. It's interesting, and Kirk usually has a good opinion on it. And also, I do like what Dave does with the Friday guest. I think that's a good staple. I mean, you get so many good stories with Cheeks, Shane, the ticket guy, myself. You get a lot of those diamond in the roughs, the Minifans that have great stories that Kirk can take and make a great episode out of. So I think you need a good balance of both, whoever the next producer is, whether it be Mick, whether it be Tommy, whether it be Josh, who, by the way, is a really nice guy. I got to talk to him before the show because we were in there by ourselves for a little bit. Nicest guy. So I have to say that too.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, you're a really nice guy, Joe. We've chatted before, and I'm sorry it went so badly for you today. I think they should give you one more shot. I think they should give you another chance in there, and just a bit of a mulligan, so to speak.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the golf term.
What about some of the other candidates? Who do you think is leading the race at the moment?
Augustus.
And then do you go on?
He's a little psycho though.
Yes,
which is good, but is long term. Is that it too? I mean, the fact that he went to the mall and crawled, he wants it. And we've been doing this top 50 Minifan committee already, and he's full on. Like he's clearly has some mental issues there. And he just sort of runs a million miles an hour and in all different directions. But I think, Kirk wants that madness. He wants someone with intensity. He wants someone with drive. And I think Montante is a bit of a dark horse. He's pretty driven as well. Listen,
what do you think of him?
What I saw from the technological side of it, it's not going to take very long for Montante to do it. And honestly, my personal opinion, Montante would probably be the best for me and what I like out of Kirk to go. That's what I would like the most to see Montante. But Montante, I do agree, would need a B because he's too unorganized, I feel.
Yes.
So I think him and Josh with Montante, that'd be a dynamic duo.
Yeah. I don't even mind the idea of, say, John Rich just being involved with the social media from a distance and working with the producer there. So I think there's opportunities. It is fascinating, though. I don't know how long this, I said to Kirk online, he needs to start eliminating people for it to really matter. Like, I think I think Tommy Quinlan should just be eliminated now. I mean, that performance on Monday night was just all-time bad. Like,
Well, how do you
way
back
worse
up?
than anything.
How do you back up the first one? I mean, you went out on top on the first episode. You can't back that up, and then it's thin-skinned too, so that doesn't help either.
No. All right, Joe. Well, look, thanks for joining me on Minifandom. Anything else you want to get off your chest before I let you go? I know we're just able to squeeze this in between appointments for both of us, but it's been nice to get your perspective. Sounds like you've taken it pretty hard, but yoga helped. As I said before, the sun will come up tomorrow. Your mum will still love you.
I hope.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to get up?
Nope. I just going to say I love the Kirk Minahan show. Actually, one thing, there's someone that said out there that I was just on the show just to kind of be like, to be on it. That's not true at all. I just want that to be known. I don't go on the show just to do that, to make a name for myself. That's not it. I went on the show because I wanted to be the producer. It just didn't work out. That's the last thing I do want to point out.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying save Joe, give him one more chance, and let's see what he can do, if he can improve on today's performance. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. I just want to reiterate, I would have put this on the network because it's part of the producer race, but we just squeezed this in. I'm out and about, but hoping to do some more stuff in the next couple of weeks. Joe, take care, and we'll catch up soon.
Have a good one.
Looking for things that were said by Big Steve. Steve made some comments about his own family. He erased it cause it made Ben angry. He got fucked by a man down under. With missing audio, yup, discover. Too happy to reveal Steve's blunder. He enjoyed blowing Steve's cover.
This guy is prolific. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Quick.
Kirk handed Steve a suspension. Got a lot of grief for it in his mentions. Steve could have gotten off easy. Just done like Blind Mike and said he needed therapy. He got fucked by a man down under. Who thinks Steve's a motherfucker? Called him out as a show scrubber. He wants Steve replaced by another. I heard some news today. An Australian man was found slain. A note was found by the body. Said nobody can fuck with S.E. Yeah, he fucked up a man down under.